Hey everybody, I am Jack Toma, and I am here with Cleek, or DeAndre Patrick as you may know him, and we are here to rank the 6 comic book movies of 2016. This may be out a little late, but it's because we had to push this back since DeAndre had to push our meeting up, but we are going to give each of our opinions on which comic book movie was the worst, up to which comic book movie we thought was the best of 2016.
And let me just say, for me personally, this is more of just my honest personal opinion, because I can definitely say with my list, some of the movies that I have ranked higher in the list are critically better, but I just didn't like them as much. So.
Well, okay, so should we start out with our number 6? Do you want to start out?
I will start out, and I will say my number 6 for the worst movie, in my opinion, of 2016.
Of comic books.
Of comic book movies. My least favorite was X-Men Apocalypse. For this sole reason, because I thought that it was an empty movie, because I rewatched it like last week, and it was just kind of there. Like, I feel like if that movie didn't happen, nothing would have changed with anything. It was kind of underwhelming, because I was expecting greatness since Days of Future Past was so amazing, and then this was just kind of like average.
Established the new team of X-Men.
Yeah, but
had to introduce the Phoenix back into the story.
Yeah, but I felt like it was just nothing that we hadn't seen before.
Okay. I'm going to say before my number 6 that I did enjoy this movie, but I think it is pretty flawed. My number 6 is the theatrical version of Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice.
That's a good choice.
It is not a terrible movie. It has very flawed, but I think that this movie just has a lot of great stuff, but for every great thing I can think about this movie, I can think of a mistake that I think they should have caught. I think this movie would have been great if they just went over the script one more time. Also, I think the studio made Zack Snyder cut out way too much from this movie, and I think that is what also helped it diminish in quality. Like, there's a ton of stuff that was taken out that made the plot make less sense. Superman went from being one of the main characters in the movie to being basically a side character in a Batman movie. This is not just the whole Ultimate thing. At first, when I saw the Ultimate Edition, I was like, wow, this fixes every problem I have with the movie. But I think it was just because, in comparison, the theatrical version, I was like, there's still problem. If I'm thinking about the Ultimate Edition, there's still a ton of problems with it. But overall, I still really enjoyed it. I still will probably like it again. I'll still like it in the future. I'll watch it again. But I just think they could have just went over and rewritten the script one more time, and it would have been great. But hopefully Justice League will be amazing.
I hope so. The trailer was fun.
So they are trying to make it less dark. I'm honestly fine with the whole dark thing. That was never my problem with the movie. My problem was just like things that just small things like dialogue that was kind of stupid.
That's a good way to put it.
Well, most of the dialogue's fine. Just every now and then there's a dumb line that they put in, and you just and when they tried to make small jokes into this, and some of them didn't make any sense. Like "she's with you." I thought she was with you.
Yeah,
that would make sense if Wonder Woman had just shown up there, but Batman had been talking to her like this throughout the whole movie. Yeah. So why the heck does he think she was with Superman?
Trailer lines.
Then you cut that out of the movie. You don't keep it in. Out of all the stuff that they could have cut out of this movie to make it shorter, they cut out all this a bunch of character development and stuff that make the movie make sense, and they kept in all this stupid stuff. I think that someone needs to make a fan edit that cuts out all the stupid stuff and keeps in all the great stuff, because there are a ton of great stuff in this movie. Batman is awesome. Superman, I actually like his character-driven story throughout the movie. I like him struggling with it. People say he's too dark. And maybe, yeah, they could have brightened him up a little more, but I still liked his character. Wonder Woman was cool. In the Ultimate Edition, I at least thought the story was pretty interesting. That's something I think the theatrical edition, like, the first two acts just felt kind of jumpy in the theatrical version. So that's something I think the Ultimate Edition fixes. If you're going to watch this movie, do watch the Ultimate Edition, in my opinion. It is an improvement. It's not perfect, but it is much better than I think from the theatrical version. If they had released the Ultimate version, I think it would be at least a space or two higher on my list.
Mm-hmm.
I know you didn't like the Ultimate Edition as much as I did, or you didn't think it improved as much.
Yeah, I didn't think it improved. I did think, though, which I did say, it did have a lot of great, cool scenes. But I just thought, as a whole, didn't really help.
The only thing I think that the Ultimate Edition, like, the problem that it creates is that there's no more action put back in, so there's giant spaces between it. But that's my only problem. But the story is much more interesting, in my opinion, with the 30 minutes put back in. Also, Lois is felt like she's not as much of, basically all she did was 1 minute of reporting, and then she gets captured the whole movie.
Yeah.
She still gets captured too much in the Ultimate Edition, but I felt like she did more in the Ultimate Edition. And also Superman, he feels like he's the main character again, which is something that so you get a sequel to Man of Steel with Batman instead of a Batman movie where Superman is basically a plot point. So, what's your fifth?
My fifth and second worst is Suicide Squad.
Well, second worst.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
This is because I went into this movie not knowing, like, what I was not expecting anything, but I wasn't expecting it to be bad, but I was just let me just see what this puts out. And I can say, though, this was a great comic book movie. Like, it felt like a comic book world. I liked the Joker for what he was, in it, and I think people are crazy when they're complaining the movie didn't have enough Joker. When
it's not a Joker movie.
It wasn't
it's
Joker
not even a Harley
movie.
Quinn movie. It's a Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah.
The only reason he's in there is because you have to have him in there if you have Harley Quinn.
Yeah, and I like the Joker for what he was in there for, and but I just thought as a whole, though, like, it just wasn't good. It just wasn't good. That's all I have to say. It had fun parts in it, and I liked the character for the most part, but the plot and the villain was stupid. Well, the antagonist was stupid. I just didn't like it. So.
Okay, my number 5 is X-Men Apocalypse. I do not hate this movie like he does, but I do enjoy it. It is very fun. I like it every time I watch it, but the thing is, it just doesn't do anything that special. It is kind of the typical comic book movie, but I still enjoy it. It's a fun, typical comic book movie, and it still does a lot of things that I find interesting. Like, I like seeing these characters again. It's definitely, compared to Days of Future Past, yeah, it's not Days of Future Past quality. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as Days of Future Past. Did not have, like, oh, this is going to be better than Days of Future Past. Days of Future Past was, like, the best X-Men movie we have. Like, I'm not sure if it's the best one in the universe, but if you just go for, like, the X-Men movies, that's the best one. So I wasn't going to think it was going to live up to that, so I didn't have that high of expectations. Apocalypse, I thought, was a really menacing villain. I know a lot of people were disappointed with him. I thought he looked fine when the movie actually came out. He looked stupid in the promo pictures, but he looked fine in the movie. They could have made him bigger. I like seeing a lot of these characters, the younger versions of characters. The action was great. There was great humor. If I had to think of some things, the pacing could have been much better. The tone was a little iffy. But overall, this is just a really fun movie. I really enjoyed it. We will still debate on this.
Yeah.
And even, of course, you seem to agree with me on our actual review. We agreed on most things on the review, yet we still have different opinions.
I thought,
Yeah, we all liked, when we were talking about moments, we liked the same moments, we disliked the same things, yet I like this movie, you don't.
Yeah, I mean, just because as a whole, I don't like it. It's just, I can think about it because I just watched this last week. Moments I really liked, the ending, seeing all the X-Men in costume, that was cool. The Wolverine part was cool, even though it shouldn't have even been in the movie.
It was cool.
But it was cool.
Yeah.
And
my favorite scene is when Apocalypse launches all the missiles.
that was a cool scene, I guess.
And I actually find Apocalypse pretty intimidating. I don't know why everyone acts like he's not intimidating enough. Yeah, he's not tall enough. I think they should have given, Oscar Isaac, they should have, they've been doing tricks to make people look bigger for years. I think they should have done, in 300, they made Xerxes much bigger than Leonidas, so they made the Hobbits look much smaller in Lord of the Rings. There's tricks to making people look bigger. They should have done stuff like that, but I still found him very intimidating.
Yeah, alright.
Let's move on to your number 4.
My number 4, and this was surprising, from here all the way to my number 1 was very, very difficult to come up with, but I chose Batman v Superman.
So you enjoyed the theatrical version more than me, I guess, then.
I did. But walking out of there, I have to say, that was, the worst third act I had seen in a long time.
Oh, really? Because I thought the third act, honestly, saved it for me.
Oh, no, I hated it. Because Doomsday was, the worst. I just hated Doomsday.
His design could have been better.
Much better.
The fight was very fun.
And then when they killed Superman, that was a moment when I was kind of I was impressed that they, had what it took to kill him. But then everything went downhill again when they should have just ended it with him dead. They shouldn't have done that. Just ruined everything for me.
I think I liked how they handled his death in the movie, especially when they have more development with him in the Ultimate Edition. I don't keep bringing that up, but it is a drastic improvement to me. Obviously I don't think, it had 30 minutes, you have to love this movie. I don't think you have to think it's a good movie now, but I think you have to at least admit that it's an improvement.
I also thought it was too early to kill him.
Yeah, that's my thing. They handle it well in this movie by itself, but now I'm thinking about the future, and I'm like, why didn't you do this later? This didn't need to happen in the second movie.
Yeah.
But if I'm just thinking about it in this movie, I thought it was fine.
Another thing, though, everything with Batman, I absolutely loved.
Yes. Ben Affleck is awesome.
This could have been, one of the best Batman movies.
Hope he doesn't leave.
Yeah.
I hope Ben Affleck stays.
Yeah.
Anything else? Your
about
thoughts
this movie?
on the extended edition?
The extended edition made it, the scenes that they added made it more serious, which I think is good. Oh, another thing that I did like about Batman v Superman, was it had amazing cinematography.
And great music by Hans Zimmer.
Fantastic music.
I'm so upset that he's not doing Justice League, though. That's a shame. But it is the guy who did it with him, Junkie XL, weird name, he's coming back for Justice League. So that's kind of a benefit, because he did it with this movie with Hans Zimmer, so that means that it's at least it should sound like this, at least like Batman v Superman.
Had great music.
Great costumes. Say what you want about DC, but they're doing a great job adapting the costumes.
Yeah. Well, there was something else good I was going to say. Oh, yeah. The scene...
Should we talk about the Martha scene?
Oh, no.
People make fun of that scene so much. There's a billion explanations for that scene.
I didn't think it was a problem.
We're called fanboys if we try to explain anything. But we're only fanboys if, A, we hate Marvel, we don't hate Marvel, we love Marvel. Do you love Marvel?
I like Marvel.
Yeah, I love Marvel too. Also, we can't find any problems with these movies. We can find problems with these movies, and I could name a bunch of problems with these movies. Wonder Woman, she's cool, didn't need to be in the movie. Too much Justice League foreshadowing shoved in, and they cut out the stuff that probably would have felt more organic. Let me think. Superman, although I liked his journey, they could have made him a little less depressing. DeAndre has to talk to his mom. Well, so I can name a bunch of problems with this movie. So don't call me a fanboy when trying to explain this stuff. I just don't get it. So maybe in the future, like the reason he says he stops killing is like he thinks he's this alien that they have to defeat because he's indestructible and he's going to destroy everybody. And then he finds out, oh my gosh, this is a guy who has a mother and he's human. I can't kill, and he's in the same position that I was in. I don't know. I just think people don't just only look at the bare basics of that scene and don't look that well into the scene. I think the same thing with Superman breaking Zod's neck. People are like, oh, he just broke his neck. He's a murderer. No, he was. People just look at the bare basics of some of these scenes and like, oh, they stopped fighting because their mother is the same name. It's like, no, that's not it. And they just like him breaking Zod's neck. He did not do it, just kill Zod. He begged him to stop when he was about to kill a family, and he literally said, never, breaks his neck, and then he screams in agony.
I thought the whole Martha thing, I thought it was cool. I didn't think
it was not just because their mother had the same name. That's what everyone says. You're not looking into it enough. You're just trying to find. I understand. Wasn't super well executed. They could have done better than just Superman saying you have to save Martha. And he's like, why did you say that name? The reason he's freaks out at first is because he thinks Superman is trying to trick him. Because he found out his mother's name was trying to trick him. And then once he finds out he's his mother, he's like, oh my gosh, this guy I thought was this evil alien that was going to destroy everybody. It turns out has a human mother that he cares for, and he's in the exact same situation that I'm in, and I'm basically Joe Chill in this situation.
Yeah.
It's not super well executed, but it's not as stupid as everyone acts like it is. They're just trying to say, "Oh, Zack Snyder's such a freaking idiot." He just says, "Oh, they get together, they get back together because they have the same mother's name." Oh, freaking idiot! They kill him right now.
Oh.
Okay, was that your number? Or you have anything else to say about Batman v Superman?
I was gonna say, the scene where Superman is in court or whatever that is, and the bomb goes off. That was a fantastic scene. That was the best scene in the movie.
I also like how, even though I don't like how they cut out that part where he's actually saving people afterwards, because in the theatrical version he just walks out and he flies off. In the new version, we see him saving people from the wreckage, and then he flies off. But anyway, I'm gonna move on to my number 4, which is Doctor Strange. Now,
this is interesting because I almost made my number 4 Doctor Strange.
Now, I enjoy this movie. It has a bunch of great stuff. Benedict Cumberbatch, although I don't think his accent's very good, he still does a really good job.
Should have just made him British.
Yeah, they really should have just done that. His accent's not great. It's not the worst, but I can notice that he's a British guy doing an American accent the whole time. The action is amazing. The effects are amazing. They do a good job mixing this magic with the martial arts. I think the main problem with this is the storytelling doesn't work all the time. Most of the time, I do feel for this character, and I do get invested in his journey, but I just think sometimes they rush through things a little too well. His training, I think, should have been longer. We should have seen him struggle more while learning it. If you've seen the animated Doctor Strange movie, I think they handled his training much better with a shorter runtime. I think they could have developed more parts of his backstory and establish more things. But overall, it's still a very fun movie. Still, Marvel has not had a terrible movie. They've had iffy movies like Iron Man 2, but they've never had a terrible one.
Yeah, again, I almost made this my number 4, mostly because it didn't feel special. Is exactly what I thought about with Apocalypse, except Apocalypse was actually just had bad stuff. But this one didn't have.
This had the cool visuals,
right?
Though.
Yeah, this didn't seem bad really. I can't think of too many, flaws with it.
Storytelling just could have been better, in my opinion.
Yeah, other than that. But I thought as a whole though it was a good movie. It was just generic. But not really, because a generic as a movie, but the character is definitely not. It just felt like Iron Man with magic.
Yeah.
Story-wise.
Honest Trailers did this thing where it's like you saw Ant-Man, which was Iron Man, but short. Now it's Doctor Strange, which is Iron Man, but on drugs. Okay, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Batman v Superman.
You just said that. I thought that was your number 4.
That is my number 4.
I said what your number.
I was making sure that you were paying attention. My number 3 is Doctor Strange.
Okay, anything else you need to say about that? Okay, so I'll go on to my number 3, which is Suicide Squad, because I really enjoyed this movie. It does have flaws, but I just find it so fun and enjoyable. It has a great sense of humor. I love these characters. I think some characters don't get that much development, like Killer Croc and Katana especially. They're probably
Katana was stupid.
Yeah, they could have cut her out completely. I think they just wanted to have more diversity in the movie, so they put Katana in. Killer Croc doesn't get a ton of lines. They gave him a little more. The extended edition of this is kind of what people said about Batman v Superman's. People constantly said about that one, well, if you like the original, this one you'll have more to like. And I'm like, no, I thought that one generally made it better. This is what I think of what they thought. Where if you liked Suicide Squad like I did, you have more to like. But it doesn't improve the movie that much. The only thing that really improves is you get a little more Joker, which is cool to see. And Killer Croc, I feel like he is more of a secondary character than just someone in the background. But that's about it.
I did not see the extended version of it.
It's a little better. It's like those are the only 2 things that I would say it improves. It's not a drastic improvement. It's just a little better. But I really like the theatrical edition of Suicide Squad. I love Harley Quinn. Love Deadshot. I enjoyed Jared Leto's Joker. I can't really compare him to other Jokers because he was in 10 minutes of the movie, but I'm not upset about how much time he had in the movie because it's not even a Batman movie. It's a Suicide Squad movie.
Oh, when Batman showed up?
It's so great seeing them try to connect this universe.
Yeah.
Like, people constantly complain, they're just trying to... remember in Phase 1 where people got excited when they saw connections to the universe? Yeah. Now even with Marvel, they're complaining when they have connections to the other universe.
It's because you can never please people.
Yeah. Like, also seeing The Flash show up to stop Captain Boomerang.
Yeah, that was cool.
Jai Courtney finally gave a good performance in a movie. Yeah, I saw Terminator Genesis. I actually liked it. But even I think he sucked in that.
Yeah.
But it just was a really fun movie. I actually liked the Enchantress as a character, but yeah, her plan was very generic, and I think they should have just had her be on the squad, and if anything, have the Joker be the villain of the movie. That way, you can have him be a villain of a movie without making him making him the main villain of another Batman movie.
I absolutely hated Enchantress.
I thought she was creepy as a character.
Oh, well, I thought she was cool until the point where
they should have just had her be on the squad and had her be all unstable on there, and maybe she could be the villain of a sequel. But instead, they make her the villain of the first movie. Yeah, they should have had the Joker be the main villain of this, and then that way you don't have to make him the main villain of a Batman movie again, but you still have the Joker as a main villain of a movie. But overall, I still really enjoyed this movie. I don't think it deserves as much hate as it got. I don't think it deserved a 30% in Rotten Tomatoes.
Definitely not.
Yeah. If you really like this movie, I highly suggest you watch the extended edition, as there's more for you to like there. But if you didn't like Suicide Squad, the Ultimate Edition isn't going to... The extended edition is not going to change your opinion. Okay, so what's your number 2?
Deadpool.
Mine's the same. Should we just talk together?
Oh my gosh, I love Deadpool. Everything about that movie, to me, it's just awesome.
This is one of the best interpretations of a comic book character that I can think of. Marvel does a great job, but this is the perfect thing of just capturing a character. The only thing is, maybe Deadpool's not as, murderous and crazy as he is in the comics, but I think they gotta keep this guy semi-likable, so they can't make him as crazy as he is in the comics. But he's still pretty crazy in this.
Yeah, and it's pretty murderous.
It's amazing how opposite we go to having him be one of the worst interpretations of a comic book character in X-Men Origins Wolverine to one of the best in this movie.
With the whole Deadpool thing, Fox does so much better with their movies when it's solely like character pieces.
Well, they do better when the studio doesn't interfere so much.
That too, and on a smaller budget.
They gave well. That's probably why they didn't interfere so much. If they gave this like $150 million budget, Fox would be like, "Oh no, we can't have it be R-rated. We gotta have it PG-13 for the little kiddies."
That's a great voice.
But I know. All my Fox heads are pedophiles in my mind.
Oh.
Okay. So anyway. Also, it works as a great comedy too.
Oh yeah,
it's amazingly funny. The action for such a small budget is really cool. We finally got Colossus. I think is one of like the weakest characters in the X-Men movies because he doesn't have a character. He doesn't look like Colossus. People say that the X-Men movies, the characters aren't like the comics. I feel like they are a lot like the comics for the most part.
No.
It's mostly Colossus, the only one I can think of where I think he's nothing like the comics because he's so bland. But they finally gave us someone that I feel, oh, that's Colossus. I hope we get to see more like they're gonna have Cable show up in the next one. They're gonna have Domino. So that should be fun. Oh, and Patrick Stewart says that the only movie he'll show up in as Professor X again would be a Deadpool movie.
That's awesome.
So I really want to see Professor X interact with Deadpool. And they can do that because this takes place before Logan.
You know,
that takes place in 2029. This will take, unless he doesn't show up into the movie till after a Deadpool movie in 2029. Which, no offense, Patrick Stewart, but I don't think you're going to be around after that.
Okay.
No offense, I love Patrick Stewart, but I don't want him to die, but that's going to happen eventually.
You know, I would have loved to see Deadpool and Wolverine react, but not after Logan.
They asked him to come back for Deadpool 2, but he declined.
Okay, good. Yeah, because the thing is, I'm not going to start talking about Logan, but I'm just saying that was such a good end of that character. I don't want to see anymore.
Yeah, it's a shame that we won't get to see. That's why I really wish he would have been in the first Deadpool, even for just like a cameo. Like maybe he could have been at Weasel's bar, and he's just like.
They can reference him though.
Oh yeah, they can reference him, but that's not the same as them actually interacting with each other.
Yeah.
But if we get to see him interacting with Professor X, that would be good enough.
Yeah.
He also says he might go on Legion. Like that's not the only other thing.
Are you watching that show?
No, because I didn't know when it was on. Maybe if it shows up on another format, I'll watch it. I'll really want to watch it if Patrick Stewart shows up on there as Professor X, because isn't he Legion's father?
I have no idea.
Okay,
I literally know nothing about that show.
Well, I just know he's like this really insane mutant with multiple personality disorder.
Oh.
And that in the comics, Professor X is his father.
Oh. Okay.
But anyway, no, I guess do we have anything else we need to say about... Oh, the romance, surprisingly, it really works in Deadpool.
Everything works in Deadpool.
Most romances are just okay in superhero movies, but this one, they generally do a good job of making you feel that this romance is real and that these guys are actually in love. And that's kind of one thing like that makes him a little unlike Deadpool, is you don't really find him like with just like in a committed relationship. That's like the only thing I can really think of in this that isn't just making him more likable, because obviously he can't be as evil. Deadpool can just be straight up evil in the comics, and they don't want to make him so unlikable in this movie, so that obviously they toned him down a little. Just a little.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing. But it still really works.
Right.
So should we move on to the number one? Or anything else you want to say about Deadpool?
I just hope that the sequel doesn't try to recreate what this movie did, but uses...
I want more X-Men characters to show up, just as like side characters. Because, think about it, I don't know if we're going to see any of the original X-Men ever again in like their own movie, because we have this new cast. So I would be actually, I think they should have Iceman and Rogue show up.
Oh, that would
again.
be awesome.
Maybe Kitty Pryde.
That would be cool.
And they could have Colossus be with them.
That would be cool.
Like they could, because that could be like what they could show. Oh, this is the current version of the X-Men, like Cyclops, Jean Grey, Storm. They're not the X-Men anymore. These are the X-Men. But that would be fun. But shall we go on to number one?
Civil War is number one.
Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah. Let me just say, that movie was the first movie since Pixar's Up to make me tear up.
I was so worried about this movie that came up because I loved Winter Soldier, and I was so glad to hear that the Russo brothers were coming back to direct this film. But then I was like, there's all these characters. There are probably more characters than an Avengers film usually has. And it's Captain America. It's not an Avengers film. This isn't going to feel like a Captain America movie. This is going to feel like an Avengers movie. Captain America's going to be just going to be another character. But nope, he still feels like he's the center focus of this movie. And his conflict with Tony Stark is extremely interesting. I still don't really know which side is the one you should side with, because they both have their pros and cons.
No.
And that's what they do so well, is you get interested in this conflict very well into... I'm just... Like, which side do you usually go with?
Captain America.
Obviously. I'm kind of overall with Captain America. Once I found out how basically Iron Man's side... how basically... Either what happens is the Avengers show up whenever, and maybe you'll get crushed by a building.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe the government won't let them go, and you'll die, and you will for sure die.
Right, so it's like a little toss-up.
Yeah, but that airport battle, oh my gosh, that's one of the coolest action scenes so far in the MCU. It might be the best. Would you say it's one of the best? I don't think it's the best. It's up with it.
What do you think is better?
The Avengers climax.
Oh yeah.
I think it's one or two. It's in between that and the Avengers climax, and then 3 is the Hulkbuster fight.
Actually, to me, the end fight between Tony and Captain America.
Yeah.
That to me that was the best fight.
It's very perfect. Let's fight it like just choreography wise and action scene wise. It's not super impressive, but just because of how the emotional state of the battle is what makes it so interesting.
Yeah, that's why it's my favorite.
Are we still allowed to spoil these? Yeah, they're all out. It's 2017. Okay, so basically, the part where like Tony finds out that Bucky killed his parents.
Oh, that was
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And Zemo is I actually think is a pretty decent villain.
Yeah, I thought he was good.
Yeah, he's people just act like if we don't get Heath Ledger's Joker, it's a bad villain.
Yeah.
I
also thought that, even though Zemo was like the villain of the movie, Tony and Steve were both.
That's why I think he worked, because he was able to manipulate them so well into getting his revenge. Also, we got 2 great new additions. We got Black Panther, which is a great version. I can't wait for his solo movie. And I really like Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if he's my favorite. I have to see more of him. Kind of the same with Jared Leto's Joker. I can't really compare him, because they haven't been in enough. So I'm gonna wait for Spider-Man: Homecoming to.
That is the dumbest name.
Yeah, it really is. The movie looks fun, but that title is freaking stupid.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna wait till that movie comes out to really judge Tom Holland. But as for what I've seen so far, he looks really good. But once he gets his own movie, once again, I'll be able to judge him more for it, because it's his movie. It's not. He only showed up for 5-10 minutes in this.
Yeah.
He basically we need Spider-Man introduced. Hey, Tony has to talk with him. Yeah, he's in the battle. He's gone.
Okay.
Put him in the end credit scene.
Um.
Remember when Hulk was originally going to be in the movie?
No, I don't.
I remember.
I think it's okay that he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Because he would have overpowered.
I think if they had Thor in there, they could have just put them on opposite sides and had them fight each other.
But it's still.
Yeah.
I think it's okay. Because. Yeah.
They also did a good job of fleshing out characters that had just been introduced earlier. I liked them further developing Scarlet Witch and Vision into the universe. Because they had decent introductions in Age of Ultron, which I like more than you, but we're not talking about Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
But I thought they did a really good job on further developing them. And I liked how they're actually... At first I was worried that relationship... That if they tried to do a relationship between them, like in the comics, it would have felt weird. But I thought it felt pretty well in this. They did a decent job developing the relationship between them.
It's still kind of weird, though.
Oh, it was always weird. Is Vision half a... I'm not talking about it.
I don't know. I feel like if they just kind of leave it at the point where you kind of get what's happening, but they don't need to confirm. You know, that's okay. Like Jim and Pam in The Office for the first like 3 seasons. Like you could tell something was there, but
that took a little long.
Yeah.
They kind of spread that out too long, in my opinion. We're not talking about The Office. We're talking about superhero movies.
The Office is fantastic.
Yeah, but we're not ranking The Office here. Are we ranking The Office? I don't know. I don't think the seasons are that much different in quality to rank them.
Okay.
Season 9, 8, the rest of it.
The rest of it, okay.
Oh wait, season 9, 8, 1, then the rest of it.
Okay.
Okay, so is that all we have to say about Civil War? Anything else?
I mean, that's like the pinnacle of comic book movies.
This is probably my favorite MCU movie so far. I didn't think anything could top Winter Soldier, because when I first saw that, I was blown away.
Yeah.
I didn't think anything. I remember saw the Avengers. I didn't think anything could top that. Then I saw the Winter Soldier. I didn't think anything could top that. And now this comes out.
It's a good problem.
Now I really hope it continues, because I'm a little concerned for Infinity War. Because so far, the Russo brothers can do really good movies that are more political like this. But when Infinity War is more, Thanos shows up, we all have to fight him. So it's more very simple. So I'm gonna wait to see.
Unless it might have like by the time all this stuff unfolds, like it might have some deeper meaning than just fight Thanos.
Yeah. Unlike other people, I'm not sick of Thanos yet, because he's shown up 3 times.
I wouldn't be sick at all.
Yeah, people get sick of him because he turned around and smiled. He had one quick scene in Guardians of the Galaxy where he threatened Ronan, and he put on a glove and said, "Fine, I'll do it myself." That's it.
Yeah.
And you're already sick of him. You people are pathetic.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done insulting you. So, I'm really excited for this going on. I hope we get more great comic book movies. I enjoyed at least some parts of every comic book movie this year. There's not any comic book movie out that I thought was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Or even I enjoyed every one. Some had more problems than others, but I hope this continues. I hope we don't get one that just sucks this year. So far, Logan was amazing.
Oh,
we gotta wait. We gotta wait to see what the other ones. But so far, I think that's done. We're done ranking the movies. So we will see you guys in a later video. See you later.